It's a Lone Star showdown in San Antonio and a sellout for Spurs night at Toyota Field as we have a battle to determine Copa Tejas between the El Paso Locomotive and San Antonio FC. Hello everyone, along with Katie Goodman and the rest of the crew, I'm Carl Schoening. We're happy you joined us on ESPN Plus tonight. Katie, we are featuring two of the most potent offenses in USL Championship this evening on the pitch.
A lot of firepower for both teams, no doubt. Love to get out on the front foot. You've got 26 goals there for San Antonio, 29 for El Paso. Very similar teams, similar playing styles. I think you're going to see a lot of transitional moments. It's going to be a fun game to watch.
Yellow cards, SAFC is tied for first while the Locomotive are not too far behind. We are certainly expecting a lot of physicality this evening between these two teams to determine what will be the shield and the trophy. The Copa Tejas trophy will be awarded tonight for the USL Championship. So that determines the best team in Texas, and we're going to keep an eye on a couple potential goal scorers. Christian Pirano will be coming off of the bench, but he'll be an anticipated sub for San Antonio.
Yeah, lots of bragging rights on the line here. Christian Pirano is one of the guys who can really help San Antonio FC convert. You can expect them to go to the bench for him, most likely in the second half. He's just really good at driving at that back line. You can see he's on fire. A six-match scoring streak. So 2 goals on Wednesday as well in the USL Cup. So again, just on fire, probably just resting his legs after that match on Wednesday.
And then on the other side, chasing a golden boot for Los Locos is Rubio Rubin.
Rubio Rubin, a lot of people know him. He's tied third in the USL with 10 goals, also played in Liga MX, has some time in Major League Soccer. So he's just really good, really hard to track, great with his back at goal. He's been doing a lot better in getting in behind on the diagonal, and so he's just going to be a tricky guy to shut down here tonight.
Hardware on the line tonight as Copa Tejas' shield and trophy will be determined and awarded at the end of the match once we hit full time. But when we come back, we'll have lineups and kickoff between Los Locos and San Antonio FC in front of a sold-out crowd here at Toyota Field on ESPN Plus.
With a new Toyota from Toyota's national sales event, summer plays on. Whether you're teaching the art of tailgating, showing up for the home team, or finding the ultimate skybox, with a new Toyota, you can keep summer playing anywhere.
During the national sales event, qualified buyers get 2.99% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2026 Tundra. Offer ends August 31st.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
When you donate or shop at Goodwill, you'll help train future nurses' aides through our local career training programs. Good job, everyone.
$10 for a large, $10 for any 3 toppings, $10 for your choice of hut crust. Like our new garlic parm hand tossed. Because there's crust, and then there's hut crust. The crust you crave, only $10. Order in the Pizza Hut app.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. We like to move it. I like to move it, move it. She likes to move it, move it. He likes to move it, move it. We like to move it. I like to move it, move it. She likes to move it, move it. He likes to move it, move it. We like to move it.
What do you do when you throw out your back?
Use caution when lifting heavy objects.
How do I eliminate back pain?
I'm not tracking any rain right now.
Back pain.
Got it. Calling back Shane.
Forget it.
Sorry, didn't get that. High-quality emergency care. Find your nearest location.
San Antonio FC Soccer is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Methodist Healthcare, proudly offering 10 neighborhood ERs across San Antonio. Hello, everyone. I'm Carl Schoening along with Katie Goodman, live from a sold-out Toyota Field where San Antonio FC is going to host the Los Locos El Paso Locomotive. Let's start off with the starting lineup for the visitors, Katie, as they're led by Junior Gonzalez.
El Paso in a 4-3-3 here. Rubin sitting back a little bit. You can expect him to check in for the ball to create a lot of problems up top. And, you know, it's a team that loves to get wide up into the corners. So, again, lots of creativity up top is what you can expect from them.
And on the other side for San Antonio FC, they have Carlos Llamosa at the helm and a very different lineup due to playing on Wednesday.
Yeah, well, it looks like a 4-4-2 here, but it's really a 4-4-2 with the 4 in the middle being a diamond. So they're really good at making that a very offensive structure. Most people go to 4-4-2s for defensive, but you can expect them to be playing through Mikey Maldonado, Nicky Hernandez to get through to Jorge and Patino up top.
Get a look to see from the sidelines on-looking Junior Gonzalez. You had a good conversation with him I was able to listen to later. It sounded like a podcast. He's very open, and he gave you a lot of good information.
Yeah, well, he's been coaching for years and years between MLS and USL Championship and has a ton of experience under his belt. So just a wealth of knowledge that he was able to share.
And on the other side, Carlos Llamosa, in his second season with San Antonio, has his team in second place in the Western Conference.
Of course, it being a small world, Coach Junior does know Carlos Llamosa as well.
Pizza kickoff is sent backwards to Joey Petruni, and then he drives it down into the attacking third, where Nelson Flores Blanco will control as it goes into touch. San Antonio FC wearing the red kits with the black shorts, while I would call that a tan color for Los Locos.
Cream,
okay. Yeah, you're a bit more in the fashion than I am. And also on top of that, a win or a draw will give the USL side of Copa Tejas Shield to San Antonio FC. Our first whistle of the evening, as blown by our referee Matt Thompson. As we take a look at the foul, that'll award a free kick here to Los Locos, called on Thiago Suarez, who picked up a red card in the 33rd minute in the USL Cup quarterfinal on Wednesday night, but that doesn't carry over to USL Championship.
luckily for San Antonio, is they're kind of running on E after that game on Wednesday, went down a man in the first half, rallied, were able to still put up 2 goals against Miami FC, who also eventually, as we know, went down a man. It was an interesting match. You have to go back and watch it if you didn't see it. But, yeah, so we've got a lot of guys getting minutes here that haven't been getting as much throughout the season. Thiago Suarez definitely stepping up. He was pretty key in that USL Cup match.
Tell you what, it is an interesting lineup. If you're unfamiliar, just a little bit different, just missing send over his head. Reese Buckmaster is in the lineup. Nicky Hernandez getting the start. Alex Suaje is out there. So plenty of names that we were talking about it at the start of that quarterfinal match. Are you willing to maybe throw out a little bit of a different lineup here in the regular season, especially with that? It's not too big of a cushion, but SAFC sitting at second place in the Western Conference standings. We have a goal kick here, much to the dismay of Los Locos. And it seems that they did sort of prioritize Wednesday's match, but Christian Pirano available off of the bench and Jorge Hernandez still in the start. So plenty of players available for SAFC.
And San Antonio has a ton of depth as well. So, you know, we might say this is, I wouldn't even say their second team. You just see maybe some guys getting a couple more minutes who haven't usually, but really and truly they could be on a first team in a lot of other organizations in the USL Championship.
Well, while these two teams are feeling each other out, let's go ahead and get to Katie's Keys, starting off with San Antonio FC as the home team here hosts in front of a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, so for San Antonio, it's about staying connected. We've got a couple new guys out here. That's one of the areas where things might break down is, you know, it's not your typical 11 out here. And then drive at that back line. That's an area where El Paso is still trying to clean up a little bit. So if they can get that transitional moment, get someone in there driving in the back line. I'd mentioned Pirano. He can do that. But you've also got Jorge Hernandez, who's pretty good at that too.
And on the other side for Los Locos,
it's looking for those transitional moments. Again, 2 similar playing styles. It looks like a different lineup, but similar playing styles. They're going to want to catch San Antonio with only a few guys in the back versus a set 4 there in the back. And then, of course, staying compact, not allowing San Antonio to go through the middle. You've got a real powerhouse there between Jorge Hernandez and Nicky Hernandez, Mikey Maldonado. They're all very dangerous and dominant in the midfield.
Speaking of Nicky Hernandez, he couldn't quite keep it across the end line as he was trying to cut back on the pass from Reese Buckmaster. Leads to a goal kick, which SAFC very eagerly has their high press here. We're going to be seeing a lot of high press from both teams this evening, as in your conversation with Junior Gonzalez, sounds like he thinks that there's a lot of similarities between these two teams.
Yeah, it's just the transitional nature both teams like to possess. El Paso really incredibly good at changing the pace and the rhythm within their possession. They're pretty dangerous. One moment they've slowed it down, the next minute they've sped it up and they put the ball in the back of the net. Now when we look back at that last moment where San Antonio, Mikey Maldonado was not able to get on the end of it, that's what I mean by stay connected. I think those little moments are going to happen here in the first few minutes as you know, these guys work to really get comfortable.
Physical play here as Suahi defends and it's forced back out. Touched by Mendez. Will send it all the way back to Alfaro on the back line. Once again, that high pressure from SAFC. Mitch Tainer playing across middle of the field, trying to create a turnover, and Thiago Suarez will do it with his head before it's brought down here. Flag stays down, and now it comes up after the touch. SAFC's entire back line saw that one as Rubio Rubin couldn't quite stay past the last defender.
But that's what I was talking about in the intro. Rubin, really strong player there. You can see he's a little bit off, hoping to get in, and it's just a really good step from Thiago Suarez to keep him offside there, but he's really improved in his diagonal runs, is something that Junior Gonzalez had mentioned, so it's interesting to see him implement that here.
Rubio Rubin, third in goals scored in USL Championship with 10, third in shots with 40. Joey Petruni gets it right back on the touch from Swahi. As right now we have a Methodist Healthcare injury report. Methodist Healthcare proudly offering 10 neighborhood ERs across San Antonio. Christian Sorto, Mitri Yerofave, Alex Grave, and also Richard Sanchez not available this evening, as we are getting into the thick of the season, down to about maybe 14 total matches left for SAFC across all competitions. Jorge Hernandez playing at middle of the pitch. Couldn't quite get it off to the left side where he was intended, and intercepted by Farkenlund. Mitch Tainer wants the flag up. It's tapped back and then tapped across out of play. Jimmy Farkenlund is not going to have that go the way he wanted to. Neither does Mitch Tainer, and it leads to a goal kick here.
But this is what we're kind of talking about, things being exciting. You know, 1 minute it's in the hands of SAFC, the very next it's right on the other side of the field there with El Paso. And just going back to that injury report as well, Alex Cornali not available tonight. I don't believe it's an injury. I think it's just a forced rest after a really tough match on Wednesday. But yeah, and then you talk about Christian Sordo. Coach Junior Gonzalez coached and worked with him, and so I think was really looking forward to seeing him out there playing tonight. But it's just a small world. He talked about how half of his team that were veterans there for El Paso, he already kind of knew, so it didn't feel like a brand new team to him. He's known them since their developmental days, and even knows a couple of guys out here with SAFC. I mentioned Christian Sordo, Jorge Hernandez, one of them.
Whistle finally blown there as Alex Mendez got into the face of Joey Petruni, and I think they were going to let it slide for a moment, but Petruni hit the grass, and enough protest from the SAFC back line to force the whistle to be blown here. A little bit of gamesmanship from both players, but yep, an elbow to the face, rightly selling the call there. Petruni will get the whistle, and that should be a little bit of a caution. Protect the goalkeeper for sure.
Well, I mean, he put his hand there, touched the goalkeeper. That's just kind of a no-no. Was it a bit of a sell? Yes, but it was still the right call regardless of the sell.
Matt Thompson keeping a tight ship here between these two teams that are top 10 in yellow cards. As I mentioned, SAFC in first, and we have another foul called here. And, well, whistles seem to be in favor of keeping it close, as we have another look at it.
Patino, quite the brick wall. He takes a look at his defender, and it's that hand over the shoulder. It almost seems like it's more of a foul on Patino than it is on El Paso. It's just a little bit of a hand in the face is, I think, what he was trying to get the call for, but
Just seemed like a physical aerial duel between Ortiz and Patino, and it sparks this opportunity in the area. A little bit of a slow roller cleared out by Buckmaster as sent in by Varkonen.
Unfortunate miss there for Rubin. I mean, that was really a perfect setup, just not able to connect with it the way he wanted.
Torres with the cross, that'll be caught easily by Petruni.
When it comes down to it, both of these teams are going to have a ton of opportunities tonight. It's about who converts on those opportunities.
Now we see the high press coming from Los Locos. Petruni keeps it away as we get a quick glance at the cross that was sent. Or this is right before the cross, and a slow roller sent in by Rubio Rubin.
Yeah, as mentioned, just great pass in, just wasn't able to quite get on the end of it. Sometimes hard to turn your body. It was a little bit of a different angle, but great idea there from El Paso.
Abraham Ramiro getting his first opportunity on that, and I think we might see Alfaro picking up a foul here, and Jorge Hernandez. Seems like teams key to be a bit more physical on him, but Jorge's got to take the good look here on a free kick after taking one through the back.
Oh, that looked painful. Just especially going through with a header in the back of the head, but good to see Jorge pop right back up.
Jorge took a right cross to his head from behind. That was the second red card issued on Wednesday. So team's certainly physical with one of the most creative players in the USL Championship level.
Well, they've got his name circled on the sheet. They know they've got to break him down, and so the only way to do that sometimes is to physically put him on the ground. But he does a great job of hanging in there, has a gas tank that never empties.
First place in assists in USL Championship with 7, but decides to work it around and switch to the pitch with Maldonado. Kept out of the area by Alfaro. Maldonado got the hockey assist on the second goal on Wednesday night. Very much a glue guy for SAFC. Tests the back line, and it goes to Mitch Tainer. Tainer looking for a cross, but the flag is up.
Really close call there for San Antonio. Linesman had eyes on it as that flag went up really quickly, but got to question El Paso's back line. I think their back two were just a little bit high up there. Kofi and Arturo Ortiz could have been bad.
Mitch Tainer seems to be playing a bit of a wing today, as usually he's on the back line, but I see him playing a bit more forward. And now an opportunity for Los Locos to respond, but I'll tell you about Mitch Tainer. He is third all-time in USL Championship regular season minutes played, coming into tonight with 23,489. He is the Iron Man for San Antonio FC.
Knows this field better than anybody else, I think. And, you know, you saw him get up a little bit there, but that's a free-flowing nature, as looks like Mikey Maldonado takes a tumble.
Yeah,
oh, no, Nicky Hernandez, excuse me, taking a tumble there.
Calvillo comes in and makes yet another physical play on the ball.
Mikey doing his best to make that turn, tries to brace for the impact. Just a little bit too rough around the edges is Calvillo.
Matt Thompson has had a busy evening here, and we're only in the 13th minute.
Calvillo actually the longest tenured there on the roster before coming to El Paso was with San Jose Earthquakes, and it's just really been a key piece here for Coach.
Dangerous set piece for Jorge Hernandez. He opted to switch the pitch last time. I get the feeling he's going for the 18 this time. Just off the foot of Nicky Hernandez, high in the air, looking for an aerial shot at it. Thiago Suarez couldn't get his head on it, and it bounces out here as Ovillo will play it all the way to the corner and keep it from the sideline as he clears. Mikey Maldonado will be able to send it back here for Tainter.
An area where El Paso knowingly wants to improve is when the ball's stopped and restarted on some of those set pieces, just being a little bit more, having more coverage at goal there. Talked about it with Coach Junior Gonzalez, something that they're working on, and close call.
Petruni able to beat Moreno to the ball, and another close call. We've seen a lot of action despite no score here, about a quarter hour into the match. Operating on the back line. playing it to midfield. At the penalty arc, Mitch Tanner, Old Faithful from behind, into the thread, and then it'll go across the inline for a goal kick as SAFC has the wind into their faces here, and the wind at the back of El Paso Locomotive. 11-mile-per-hour wind with 22-mile-an-hour gusts. It'll be interesting to see what Petruni does here, as he looks like he's going to boom this one towards midfield.
Good test of the wind. As you can see, that ball bent a little more towards the middle, despite the setup. Trying to go towards the end line. Just really don't want El Paso earning that ball.
Swahi with a good defense. Once again, good defense by Swahi. It ricochets off of the head there of Coronado, and a throw in for SAFC.
Lexi Swahi doing a really good job here tonight of stepping when he needs to and filling the gaps where he needs to as well.
Rubin couldn't quite keep it in play. There's Mitch Tainer, will take away the tackle from Pacarlin.
Huge win there for Mitch Tainer. When you talk about veteran experience, that's kind of what you refer to there. You can just see the intensity there for Tainer, and it just feels sometimes like he's willing to just take the responsibility on his shoulders.
With 15 minutes completed, what do you think of this sort of new look San Antonio FC playing their third match this week?
Well, we know San Antonio has a ton of depth, and so I feel like if you're an SAFC fan, that you can be rest assured that this is going to be a good match. I don't think there's too much of a difference there, what we have tonight.
Here's a foul here going against Gabriel Torres, and you might have noticed the graphic. This week started 1 week ago, I should say, against Louisville City in a 1-1 draw, and then Miami FC in the 2-1 USL Cup quarterfinal win. That'll send them to a semifinal to play Louisville City again on September 8th. That'll be in USL Cup play. SAFC will be excited to have a week off. Sent towards the penalty mark, but kept out.
Close call there for San Antonio. I was just going to say, it feels like both teams are playing a little bit scattered. You know, it just just not able to connect passes. That's a really good hustle there.
Good example of what you're saying, though.
Yeah, I mean, and it's happening on both sides, and a part of that is how transitional this game is. Somebody is going to have to dictate the game, slow it down a bit. This is something that El Paso is typically pretty good at, you know, slowing things down and speeding things up. I think they're just struggling with that high press nature that San Antonio naturally brings. And so, yeah, somebody's going to have to settle some things down.
So because we have two high-press teams, I feel like that's almost led to both teams getting into the attacking third fairly often, as Rubin's not going to be able to beat Thiago Suarez, who sends it back to Joey Petruni. Suarez takes a roll, but SAFC has possession, and now they're going to call that foul, I suppose, as Suarez is down holding his ankle. Rubio Rubin, in his effort to win the ball, might have made a bruise on the ankle or shin of Thiago Suarez. Take a look at it.
When you look at it, he's trying to clear it. He's unable to do it. And then I think it's this connection, the stepping on his foot right there. Looks like just a bit of a cleat mark. If you've played soccer, you know exactly what that feels like. It's not great, but you can walk it off, as you see there.
So we'll have a drop ball for Petruni to resume where he pretty much was. And just okay, Thiago Suarez will get the first touch following the drop ball that his injury forced. Petruni a little too hard there as he sends it over the head of Mitch Tainer, and a throw in the attacking third for Los Locos. Once again, a little bit of trouble connecting passes there for El Paso. Mikey Maldonado controls. Swahi sends it here to Buckmaster. Reese Buckmaster surveying ahead. Plenty of operation. One touch right back to Jorge Hernandez. Patino on side. Tries the cross, punched away there by Romero. Trying to recycle the service, Jorge Hernandez finds Patino again. Slow roller grabbed by Romero, and he'll hop on top of it.
What I like about that development is that Reese Buckmaster didn't go with the obvious. You had Patino running around open. He decided to go central, which actually put Patino into a better position. As you can see in this diagonal run here, caused a lot of problems. Both teams clearly looking for the diagonal ball.
Deep strike that'll go in for a goal. Wow, what a shot. Alex Mendez sends it from about 40 yards out. That'll be his 7th goal of the season.
No diagonal needed here for Mendez. Incredible work. You know, El Paso, again, they're this team. They're playing 1-2 tiki-taka soccer, and all of a sudden it's just a driven ball from distance, upper 90. That goal is going to be goal of the week. That's incredible work there. Some of the best stuff I've seen in a while. Just great work. He knows he has an opening. Joey Petruni just not able to get to it. It's an impossible goal to stop.
Take another look at that left-footed strike. Petruni read it, but he just couldn't quite get the touch on it.
And then when you look at San Antonio FC's defenders as well, just a little bit too wide, too much space, allowing him that space to take the hit. But you also have to hand it to Mendez. He recognized that he had the space. He had the confidence to take the shot, and it worked out. San Antonio maybe could take some notes as well. I think both teams having a little bit of trouble with congestion in the attacking third.
Alex Mendez now moves into 2nd place in goals behind Rubio Rubin on the El Paso Locomotive. Moreno also with 6 coming into the match. Won't want to be outdone, I imagine. SAFC doesn't trail too often here at Toyota Field. Mitch Tainer, somebody who's aware of that, comes up with the interception.
San Antonio wants to equalize. They're going to be a little bit more clinical in their attack. I think that last development between Patino and Reese Buckmaster, that was a good one, but things have to be sharper.
Nelson Flores Blanco pulls it down. Sends it in the area. It'll go just glance off the head of Patino. Romero not needing to worry about that deflection, and a throw-in. Flag favors here. Let's take another look at it as SAFC will stay in the attacking third.
But a really good effort. I mean, that ball had some backspin on it and set up Nelson really well, and Patino just getting on the tip of it there. Things seem so close for San Antonio. It seems to just be that final pass they can't quite convert.
Mikey Maldonado will throw as SAFC wants to kind of slow down the pace, allow Los Locos to get their defense set. And you know, SAFC could also probably take a note of your criticism of Los Locos and connect some passes. Reese Buckmaster just has it knocked away from Nelson Flores Blanco. Jorge Hernandez chips towards the penalty mark. Mitch Tainer wants a handball, not going to get it. Matt Thompson says no, play on. Throw in for SAFC. Parallel with the byline.
Let's have a closer look at this, see if it is in fact a handball. I mean, when Mitch Tainer's reacting that much, oh yes, that is a huge handball and arm extended. That's a bit of a miss. That would have definitely converted off that PK for San Antonio. So understandable to not be happy about that.
Matt Thompson might owe San Antonio FC a makeup call. I don't think he looked at the big screen, but he heard the reaction of Toyota Field on the replay. Reese Buckmaster comes up with the ball.
Thing is, if you're a ref here at San Antonio FC, they're not happy with any of your calls most times. So
seems about right. Cleared out on the attempt there by Torres. Nicky Hernandez plays it backwards to Petruni.
The ref allows Thiago Suarez to play on. Looked like a bit of a foul there. Luckily, he was not the last defender.
Patino tripped up as he tried to play it forward, and now a foul will be called. No advantage to be played to for SAFC, and they'll have a free kick just in front of center circle.
Only 23 minutes in, and I feel like you can see where these teams, both teams are starting to get a little bit tired. It's because it's such a transitional game, and that's where you just got to settle things down, let the ball do the work.
Jorge Hernandez will line up this free kick. I guess it was officially called inside center circle. Surveying his options, looking for an equalizer here. Gotten word that we will have a hydration break, which is interesting considering this is about the earliest the sun has set since we moved to the 8 o'clock starts. Jorge Hernandez lines this one, looking for Thiago Suarez off his head. It's in the air, and then a foul will be called. Suarez out of control, whistled for the foul, and then the clearance sent into the stands. Not that that was needed, so we're going to get a new ball here for the goal kick. And now we're going to have the hydration break after taking one more look here at the Jorge Hernandez opportunity.
Good driven ball in. It's the hand on El Paso's back that causes the problems here for Thiago Suarez. You can see that pressure coming from him the whole time, but put into a really dangerous spot for Jorge Hernandez.
Unlike some of our colleagues, we will actually keep it right here for the hydration break, Katie. And San Antonio FC, they've been a little busy, so they've made a couple roster changes. We start off with Lilian Ricol as it's a signing here for SAFC. What do you got, Katie?
Yeah, he comes from a USL 1 side, Fort Wayne, and just adding some more firepower up top. You know, San Antonio has a ton of fire on the bench, but just adding a little more to the flame here is Lilian Ricol.
SAFC also brought in a backup keeper on a 25-day contract, and
Danny Namani, yes, incredible player. He played with SAFC as the backup keeper last season from Texas, but played at UIW, University of Incarnate Word here in San Antonio. Also went to Clemens High School. Really interesting player. Had really went up the ranks in the USL soccer system, and just glad to see him back.
Absolutely. Well, Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. You know, Katie, now that we have a little bit of a time to burn some time, during the World Cup, they changed the way the ball was constructed in a couple different ways, and in a weird way, I suppose it was a very chalky World Cup. So do you think that the way they reconstructed the ball during the World Cup might have maybe played into the more talented teams winning?
I don't know about that. I mean, there was a chip in the ball, which helped us to track a lot of different metrics. But, you know, every single World Cup has a different ball, and teams practice with the ball months in advance to try to get used to it, because at high level, you know, even the slightest change makes a difference because these players are that exact. So, here's the USL Championship ball. I actually really like that one. It's pretty. Blue stars and everything. But, you know, the ball at the World Cup always intrigued me because it just changes every time, and I think that would drive me nuts a little bit as a player. And then you question if the microchip is actually working. I think that was where most of the questions came from.
It's a lot of different microchips to track there with, you know, which one's actually in play. We're ready to resume following the hydration break. El Paso with a 1-0 lead, thanks to a goal in the 20th minute by Mendez, and a foul will be called here from behind, and I think we might have our first booking. No, Matt Thompson keeping the... Yeah, there it is. Finally, the yellow card comes out and is shown there to Farkelin here, as SAFC will take advantage of the first yellow shown this evening. And, yeah, Kirk Califf takes a mean hit there.
Yeah, you can see where he was trying to make it his best effort to get to the ball, just overstepped it and got some ankles instead. Califf taking a tumble.
Mitch Tanner will do the honors on the free kick.
Great turn and shielding there from Nicky Hernandez just to get that ball moving forward. When you look at it, it feels kind of like San Antonio FC is dominating in the middle still. Tells you, hey, try to send that ball through the middle a little bit more if you're San Antonio.
Tanner has to keep it away from Rubio Bean. Nice touch by Jamasi to send it into touch to slow down the SAFC switch of the pitch. Nelson Flores Blanco told to stop right there as he tried to walk it forward on the throw-in.
looking for a passing lane here. Olive works to make it happen, and that's the switch that I think San Antonio has been needing. And you see El Paso take on a couple of big switches before, and that worked a charm here for San Antonio. Kind of opened things up, if you notice there, through the middle.
Patino sends it wide here. Nicky Hernandez, one touch to Reese Buckmaster. Buckmaster towards the mark, headed out.
I think Nicky Hernandez could have carried a little bit more there. And ooh, what a foul. 2 arms over the shoulders and a pull down. Quite the talking to from the ref. That has to be booked.
Mondo Moreno seems to just be getting a stern warning. Moreno, yeah, we're going to take a look at this. Maybe is sitting on a mean warning. And yeah, we have the football support video review that was only for USL knockout round. So it awarded 2 red cards. I don't think that was worthy of a red card review, but the coaches' challenges were mostly successful on Wednesday night. And you could feel that if that one were challenged, it would be definitely a yellow card awarded.
Yeah, I mean, I understand tactical fouls, but that was really aggressive. That would have borderlined. And if he, he should at least have gotten a yellow for that. And, you talk about that replay, and that defined the Miami FC and SAFC game. So I think it should be implemented in all of USL Championship. I
like coaches' challenges versus officials initiated VAR. Feels like that's a bit more meaningful.
Yeah, I agree, and it kind of feels like higher stakes. You're not reviewing every little thing. You save it for the big moments, and that handball in the box for El Paso in the box, that would have been a PK for SAFC.
Dangerous set piece for Jorge Hernandez, looking for an equalizer. 7 assists on the season. Hernandez has the okay. Sent out on the defense there by Ortiz. SAFC trying to reclaim possession there. Mitch Tainer has it bounce across the pitch to Reese Buckmaster.
Yeah, a bit of a mistimed hit there from Jorge. You could tell the run was a little bit off, the placement was off. And it kind of just speaks to the struggle SAFC is facing right now. Just trying to connect passes and stay connected as a unit.
Maldonado was looking for Jorge Hernandez. Kept away from him by Gabriel Torres. Calvillo gives it up Torres. Pushed off his line. It'll bounce around and be recovered there on the nice touch by Coronado.
It's good smothering defense there from San Antonio, and really wise to get the switch going from El Paso.
Resets a little bit of the spacing, but SAFC's being relentless. They find a gap in that defense, though. Torres sends it to the 6 and then sent away on the defense there by Sawahi.
Really quality clearance as well. Just keeping it from being a corner kick opportunity. Just goes all the way out of bounds, just above the flag. See a good connection there with the ball. I feel like things are starting to heat up here for El Paso. Starting to find and connect more passes through the middle. Finding spaces down the side.
Reese Buckmaster there on the defense to send that one across the end line, and now we have our first corner kick of the evening as Buckmaster keeps that away from Moreno.
Buckmaster, that box-to-box defender, gets up on the wing. Also has a lot of forward activity in his background, but man, that's a great defensive header just to clear the space. And now San Antonio gonna have to do everything they can to keep this from being a second goal for El Paso.
Alex Mendez was the goal scorer. He'll initiate the corner kick here. Coronado is a short option to his right. Doesn't look like he's going to give him much of an opportunity to do anything with it. Mendez kicking into the wind. Bounced out, and Flores Blanco will clear it towards center circle. Swahi sends that away just for the moment. Now a recycled service will go off Petruni, and he'll kick it away towards the penalty mark, and Mitch Tainer's there to clear it away. Very dangerous play by Armando Moreno that Petruni was able to sniff out.
You can see here where San Antonio just doesn't quite have a hold of things defensively. It started out with a poor clearance, not being composed on defense, and then Alexi Suahi does a good job just to be there, make things difficult, try to get the clearance the first time, but then he loses track of the ball. That leaves him wide open, and lucky for San Antonio, Joey Petruni able to get there, but it was a really close call, and it's feeling like a matter of time before another goal happens here for El Paso.
Moreno offside this time.
Again, there's the shot of Moreno just causing problems.
Rubin was there looking for a poacher's goal, was unable to beat Petruni's redirection, and Mitch Tainer able to end that thread. And now SAFC is trying to find some momentum in their favor. As you mentioned, El Paso really does have all the momentum at the moment. Calv is tripped up and will play on here. Coming away with the tackle here, Chumasi, and it's sent backwards here to the back line of Los Locos.
And these are the moments where El Paso really has to convert and capitalize, because it's really not often that San Antonio FC lose their momentum. And so, you know, that was such a great opportunity there to convert. And so they're just going to have to recreate that.
Mitch Tainer wins it back for SAFC after Romero was trying to play at center circle. Suahi's pass is intercepted here. Gabriel Torres. Left side, Moreno. Moreno marked by Suahi. Suahi comes up with the intercepted pass and then clears it out of the area.
Suahi great with the one-on-one defending, but the clearances, the distribution does have to be a little bit better here for San Antonio, really as a whole along that back line.
Alfaro. Couldn't quite get it back on the 1-2. Suahi pushed down from behind, and that'll be a foul called on Alfaro, who immediately gets in the face of Suahi, initiating these secondary whistles.
And as one would expect, all the theatrics and the drama as things start to heat up a little bit.
Copa Tejas is on the line here.
But looking back, Alexi Suahi doing a great job working in his 1v1 defense. Of course, takes a tumble there, but San Antonio, they can't get themselves in those sticky positions. They really have to be better with the build-out.
Petruni sends it across midfield, and now Mikey Maldonado has it with opportunities to create. Leaves out wide Nelson Flores Blanco. Intercepted. Chumasi sending it forward, and Thiago Suarez will play it back to Petruni.
Bit of a struggle there for San Antonio, and some of these decisions are times where maybe they could have held the ball more to get, you know, players in more dangerous positions, and other times where they could release it a little sooner. And, you know, that's what when I talk about staying connected as a unit, those are the little things that drop off. And, you know, I'm sure there's going to be some discussion at halftime of just maybe going for the more simple option.
Chumasi. He might shoot his shot from outside the box. Instead, he leaves it off here to Moreno. Moreno in the area. Cut off by the defense of SAFC. Played back Torres.
Spot on about Chumasi. I mean, he had a lot of daylight there. Probably could have been another zinger of a goal.
Elected to be unselfish, and it might have crossed the opportunity on this possession. Alfaro. Torres. Moreno playing it to the middle of the pitch. SAFC with a compact defense. Katie, how about this one? El Paso is on a 4-game winless streak against San Antonio, including 3 consecutive losses. Last time that they beat SAFC was back on June 5th of 2024 at Southwest University Park in El Paso. So, you know, sometimes you don't know what the difference is in these games, but I feel like that's a good motivating factor to bring up as Petruni plays it on the bounce.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, I will say Armando Moreno has scored in 2 of the last 3 matches against SAFC. So right on track there with that.
And here we are in the 39th minute, 1-0. SAFC trails Los Locos. Los Locos have conceded 2 or more goals in these recent matchups, so see if SAFC can find a little bit of a rhythm. Suahi gives it back. Thiago Suarez, diagonal to Petruni. That high pressure from El Paso has thrown SAFC off of their rhythm.
Now it's a good opportunity to set the tone here. Your SAFC.
Aaron pass there by Thiago Suarez. And another goal will be scored. Wow, that'll be sent through by Alex Mendez. His second goal of the match has Los Locos ahead 2-0.
Incredible work there from Mendez. Just has that nose for goal. He could read it, and it was already feeling a little inconspicuous here for San Antonio. You see three of El Paso's guys high up. It's congested. That's when you play it safe. That's when you drop to the keeper. Just not enough pace on that ball there from Thiago Suarez. Nothing Mitch Taintor could do, put through his best effort. And when we talk about taking the opportunities when we're given, this is what we're talking about. And when you look at this setup right now, SAFC, meeting of the minds here in the middle, and that's that stay connected piece. You know, it's talking about getting back to basics, focus on doing your job, you know, connecting the next pass until you find that rhythm again.
Christian Pirano available off of the bench, might be needed in the second half. Also getting a well-deserved night off, Akeem O'Connor-Ward. So a bit of a very different back line. We haven't necessarily seen anything that really resembles this lineup so far this season. We have the assistant calling a foul here going in favor of Los Locos.
Yeah, in the matchup against Miami FC, Akeem O'Connor-Ward did have a knock. He was kind of limping a little bit, so probably just needs a little bit of rest. You know, had some guys playing down a man for, what, 60 minutes on Wednesday? So they just not in a great position for this matchup here. And, of course, it's a long season. And depending on your bench is a big part of getting through playoffs and going further in season. You know, injuries happen. So San Antonio, I don't think it's an excuse. They just got to persevere and stay connected.
Los Locos are in 6th place in the playoff seeding with 28 points. But they're not too far away from SAFC, who has 32 points in 2nd place. Very tight Western Conference standings. And El Paso would love to come away with a victory here in San Antonio for multiple reasons, including we were talking about their recent success, or lack thereof, I should say, against San Antonio. And Gabriel Torres is going to be checked out here and escorted to the sideline.
Hard to say what happened there. Looks like he's pointing to his hand. Lucky for him, you only need your 2 feet in soccer, but I'm sure that hurts.
Yeah, I think there was a collision that's causing him quite a bit of pain.
Yeah, it must be something if his hand is hurting that bad.
SAFC needs some kind of rhythm. They would love to come away with a draw that would secure them Copa Tejas. 3 points would be even better, of course, but they have an uphill climb for that here as we're wrapping up the first half.
Big part, too, of making a comeback is keeping the energy positive. And, you know, a lot of teams, when they're down by 2, they get deflated. But what do we say, Carl? 2-0 is the worst lead in soccer, so it ain't over till it's over. And we've seen San Antonio FC do some crazier things, so.
Patino trying to win the ball, pushed off his line, no whistle, and a very physical play allowed. Eventually, Reese Buckmaster's called for the foul by the assistant.
Yeah, really not sure how I feel about that, considering it was the same exact foul back-to-back, yet it was called on SAFC. We'll have a look at it in real time. Lots of pushing on the back. There's a trip, and then similar kind of thing. I would say even less of a push, just a hand to the back. So lots of questions here, I think, for Carlos Llamosa on this matchup.
Tony Alfaro seemed to get away with a couple potential fouls on Patino there. Santiago Patino just wants to try and find his rhythm as well up top to try and get his team back in. Patino, the all-time leader in goals scored with San Antonio FC in club history, and would obviously love to get a score in front of this sold-out crowd tonight. SAFC is looking for tale of 2 halves if they can. But, of course, they'd love to have some kind of score late here. That bounces off Mitch Taintor's head, played on a ricochet here to Moreno. And then again, a 3rd goal this evening. That one sent through by Vercarlin. Jimmy Vercarlin's 1st goal of the season, and we have a brouhaha at the goal line.
I was just going to say that San Antonio FC simply not winning first or second ball. Clearance is not great. This is just an overall full-on breakdown of the back line. I would ask to look there to see if there weren't some possibility for offside, but Thiago Suarez is so deep there close to the end line that Bart Carlin definitely taking that goal home, and somersault warranted. Now where the fighting came from, that I think it mostly is just frustration here. But it's just simply that El Paso Locomotive is the better team here tonight.
Well, if 2-0 is one of the worst leads in soccer, 3-0 might be one of the more secure ones.
That's some great cushion, especially when you're just going into the second half. We have a whole nother half to play. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about at halftime for Carlos Llamosa. A big part of that is getting back to basics, you know, that first touch, the connecting of the passes, mentality. There's not a lot of teams that come out against San Antonio who not only win the first ball, but the second ball. I think this is them getting a little bit of a taste of their own medicine.
Yellow card was shown to the bench of El Paso, or maybe it's Cavillo here getting the yellow card.
Talked to head coach Junior Gonzalez, and he mentioned how important it was for this team to have an identity. It's very clear they've got the grit and the determination, but they've also got that possession. They can handle this San Antonio team under pressure.
Well, we talked about it at the Open. El Paso, one of the best scoring teams here, as we have 5 minutes of stoppage time added on. El Paso tied for 4th with 29 goals on the season entering the match. SAFC tied for 10th with 26 goals. They're looking for at least some momentum going into the locker room. Cut out there by Coronado on the through ball attempt, and now SAFC gets it right back. Jorge Hernandez flicks it back. Nicky Hernandez can't find the space, so he retreats here. Mikey Maldonado, he'll chip it into the area. Ooh, cross over to the area to Jorge Hernandez, who's held up trying to win the ball that he kicked to himself. Sawahi in the attacking third. Nicky Hernandez. Last chance at the end of the half, perhaps.
I was going to say that was a better recovery there for San Antonio, but before that development even started, I think it would have been better to go back to Nelson Flores Blanco there in that left corner. It's just, I think when it comes down to it, just making some better decisions, maybe the easier ones right now.
Great cross. The field switch of the pitch there to Jorge Hernandez from Mitch Tainer. He'll send a low roller across the face of goal. Bounced out here by Mikey Maldonado. Kept in play by Nicky Hernandez. Hernandez pushed down, no whistle. Able to maintain control of the ball. Spins away from the pressure. Into the area. To the penalty mark. Just missing the header there of Patino.
Man, that's the magic from Nicky Hernandez, though. Takes the hit, pops back up, turns on the defender. Just great stuff. I think San Antonio needs a lot more of that. You also had Patino in the right spot, just wasn't able to connect.
Mitch Tainer was trying to find Patino, instead on a run there for as Blanco sends it to the penalty mark where Alfaro heads it out into the stands.
I'd say things looking a little bit better here for San Antonio. Let's look back at that. So he pops back up. Defender takes it easy. Does a great job. Look at this. Nice turn. Great bodily awareness. Great spatial awareness. And then it's a nice chip in.
Jimmy Carlin called for the foul here against Kirk Callov. The elbow of the 18. SAFC would love some kind of momentum heading into the locker rooms. But look at the foul here as Matt Thompson's had a busy day with his whistle.
Oh, cleats up, lots of ankles. San Antonio, this could be their last chance of the half.
Jorge Hernandez chatting with Kirk Callov about how to operate this free kick. Lined up along the penalty mark are 6 SAFC players. 3-man wall that Jorge Hernandez will try to send the ball around. Flores Blanco to his right. Kirk Callov can't send it through the wall. Bounced out. No counter opportunity, really. Just a long send to make Joey Petrucci catch this one. And another chance for SAFC to probably build out of the back. Suwahi surveys ahead.
Not a bad idea to try something different, but things were a little bit congested there. Would have been tough either way. Just a tough spot to hit from.
Mitch Tanner with a long send. Abraham Romero will play it down to his feet.
So many long sends, direct passes in. It's feeling not so much like SAFC's identity this season. Again, it's settling down, trying to play a little cleaner through the middle.
Alfaro direct to Mendez here. He'll go towards the penalty mark, just over the crossbar on the header attempt. Very close to being 4-0, as that's the dangerous head of Rubio Rubin.
Very close. And when you look at El Paso, they're just simply doing better at getting numbers up. Their goal is to only have 1 or 2 defenders there in those transitional moments. They're doing this exceptionally. Like, incredible work here from El Paso.
Well, Katie, if there's perhaps a silver lining for SAFC to take into the halftime locker room, it was a 5-goal match last time these two teams met in April. So still plenty of opportunity to get back in this one based off the way these two teams played. Patino couldn't beat Romero to the ball, who plays it high off of the bounce.
Yeah, there's a whole 45 minutes to come in the second half, and we've seen it before with SAFC. They come out just looking like a different team. You also have Christian Pirano still on the bench. Maybe he gets a full 45.
Rubio Rubin sets up. A little bit of a stumble, but still a collection, and nice job by Nelson Flores Blanco to deny Armando Moreno, and a corner kick coming up for El Paso.
It's a good recovery here from Nelson, but you can see the frustration. They're not closing things down there in the midfield. They continue to be played through. They're allowing El Paso to play at them. You've got Lucio Barone on the bench. He is one of those guys who has that kind of bulldog mentality, who would be really good in the stopper position, maybe moving into the second half. Of course, also resting his legs from a full tough match on Wednesday, but I think those might be some of the changes you'll see.
Kept short by Mendez. He gets it right back. Mendez being hounded by Reese Buckmaster. Can't get a cross off despite several attempts.
And now they're just having fun. You can see they're playing with a ton of confidence.
Fakarlin trying to beat Patino. Patino trying to win the ball. A wrestle down there, and then finally the assistant calls the whistle there on Patino. Patino's saying it's the same thing on the other side.
Yeah, he's right. That is a foul. That's exactly what I was just going to say. Yes, it's a foul, but the same exact thing happened to him on the other side. So, you know, you can't blame him for trying. A lot of questions to be had here for this center referee. And I don't like to say that because, you know, they're under a lot of pressure. They got a lot going on, and it's just some things to question here.
That's putting it nicely, Katie. Alex Mendez will have a dangerous set piece here. About 15 yards away from a corner mark and about 5 yards away from the end line. Parallel with the 6. Chips it and headed out there by Thiago Suarez to the penalty arc. Reese Buckmaster keeps it out of the penalty mark. Kirk Caleb will send it towards center circle, and that will be the end of the first 45. Well, just an electric first half for Los Locos as they're determined to come away with the first win in the last 5 matches. 3 goals in the first 45 minutes for the visitors from El Paso. Copa Tejas continues when we come back here on ESPN Plus. Enjoy the halftime show.
A woman in Brownsville was ready to buy her first car with, boom, just a debit card. But the salespeople laughed in her face. So she hit up Frostbank, who instantly raised her limit, and bam! Wait. Bam what?
Bam. She bought the car.
She bought the flippin' car.
What a boss. Beep, beep, boss coming through.
Oh, yeah. People in this industry know all about the f***ers at Davis Law Firm. If we get a case with their name on it, then we know for darn sure we are likely not settling cheap.
Yeah, I'm adjusting to retired life fine. I don't have to go up against the f***ers at Davis Law Firm anymore. Believe me, we tried, but It was hard to lowball those.
Dealing with insurance companies after a wreck can be a real challenge. If you're hurt, remember the 4-letter word that can help. Want more? Call the Force.
With a new Toyota from Toyota's National Sales Event, summer plays on. Whether you're teaching the art of tailgating, showing up for the home team, or finding the ultimate skybox, with a new Toyota, you can keep summer playing anywhere.
During the national sales event, qualified lessees can lease a rugged new 2026 Tundra SR5 for $479 a month for 36 months. Offer ends August 31st.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
When you donate or shop at Goodwill, you'll help train future truck drivers through our local career training programs. Good job, everyone.
Today I got the call by the coach saying I was in the group of 23 going to the World Cup. At that moment I felt like a dream came true. The day I got the call by the coach saying I was in the group of 23 going to the World Cup. At that moment I felt like a dream came true. As an immigrant, came into the United States, and a couple of years later, represent this country means a lot to me. Made me proud, made my family proud as well. I'm glad, I'm grateful, and I'm happy to be here in San Antonio, you know, and I'm grateful to the fans, to the support group. Every single game, after the game, whether we win, we lose, or we tie, I go there and thank them for the support. And they're around the stadium for every single fan in the stadium. This is a competitive league, you know. And I think this club, the way we run this club is very professional compared with other leagues as well. You know, the top leagues, I think we're very competitive, you know. And in years to come, make sure they remember, not me, but the whole group as a staff. You know, me, my staff, and my players. Oh, that team. We remember that team from 2026. They were sick. They were good. They played good soccer. They played good football, and they conquered championships.
Doesn't care who.
Comes towards goal, and Phoenix have the breakthrough. Numbers in support. Perez goes for goal. Oh, wow.
Es espectacular. Hay mucha fiesta, señor Martino. Hay gente revancha, doctor. Pero falta gol. Estamos a esperar a Hugo. ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chapar, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Pasa al norte! A donde me dé la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vamos!
This is your moment. We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
time in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at the headlines. The semifinal round of the Prinks Tires USL Cup will feature 4 championship clubs, including the defending Cup champs, Hartford Athletic. They will host Colorado Springs. San Antonio will host Louisville City. Both Louisville and Colorado Springs advanced in penalty kick shootouts in the quarterfinals. Loudoun United made club history with the 6-figure transfer of forward Thor Ulfarsson to the top flight in Iceland, which just happens to be Ulfarsson's home country. Thor is the club's leading scorer with 10 goals and 3 assists through 21 matches in all competitions. Congrats to Colorado Springs head coach Alan McCann, the championship coach of the month for July. The switch.
A San Antonio shop owner was getting calls from hackers trying to drain her bank account. But Frost was on it. When they couldn't reach her, they drove over to what? To stop the call? What the fraud?
The scammers tried to clean her out.
So Frost handled the scandal.
Yep, and now business is blooming.
Got him.
Got him good.
At Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel, Texas's premier entertainment destination, we love winners. With millions of dollars in jackpots paid, vehicles, cash, and gift giveaways monthly, the excitement never ends. Visit Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel in Eagle Pass, Texas, and find current promotions at LuckyEagleTexas.com or on social at Lucky Eagle Texas.
What do you do when you throw out your back?
Use caution when lifting heavy objects.
How do I eliminate back pain?
I'm not tracking any rain right now.
Back pain?
Got it. Calling back Shane.
Forget it.
Sorry, didn't get that. High-quality emergency care. Find your nearest location.
$10 for a large, $10 for any 3 toppings, $10 for your choice of hot crust. Like our new garlic parm hand tossed. Because there's crust, and then there's hut crust. The crust you crave, only $10. Order in the Pizza Hut app.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. We like to move it. I like to move it, move it. She likes to move it, move it. He likes to move it, move it. We like to move it.
Welcome back to Toyota Field, where it's been all El Paso Locomotive FC. The visitors lead 3-0 over San Antonio FC in front of a sold-out crowd. We're happy you stuck with us during the halftime show here on ESPN+. I'm Carl Schoening, along with Katie Goodman. And Katie, trying to break this winless streak against San Antonio FC. Off to a good first 45 minutes, 3 goals for Los Locos.
Yeah, El Paso is simply the better team. They've taken the most of their opportunities. They're getting first and second ball, and it's very clear here in the way that they have sealed the deal here on Spurs night. I mean, first there were a couple of close calls to begin with, and then eventually it's Mendez with just a little bit too much space, takes an absolute banger of a goal from distance. Nobody's stopping that. I don't care who you are, but they continue to win over and over again. A couple of close calls here for San Antonio FC, and then more opportunities come, and again it's Mendez. He finds himself 1v1 with the keeper. San Antonio is going to have to be much more clinical on defense if they just want to hang around this one. And then, of course, it's for Carlin. He comes in. He just puts the nail in the coffin there. And it's essentially, they're just getting picked apart through the middle of the field, Carl.
Halftime stats brought to you by HEB. And the shots relatively even, I suppose. Los Locos getting 3 more shots off, but all on target are 4 of the 6 and none for San Antonio FC. While we talk about the physical match 3 yellow cards already given out and plenty of fouls. Some of them haven't even really been called. And anything stand out to you?
Yeah, the touches in the opposition box, 12 there for El Paso. I mean, of course, the possession is looking the same. We know this is a transitional game, but those 12 touches in the box there, Carl, just tells us that El Paso are making better decisions when making their way into the attacking third.
Yeah, it is a work cut out for you kind of second half for San Antonio FC, trailing 3-0 here in front of a sold-out crowd at Toyota Field. We'll step aside, and when we come back, we'll have kickoff for the second half between El Paso and San Antonio. The Coyotes here on Spurs night, obviously not wearing any pants.
It's Toyota's national sales event with so much summer left to see. From the perfect seats in a RAV4, to reimagining spaces in a Corolla Cross, to rooms with a view in a Tundra. Don't you love when summer just clicks?
During the national sales event, qualified lessees can lease a new 2026 RAV4 LE for $309 a month for 36 months. Offer ends August 31st.
Toyota keeps your summer going.
Toyota, let's go places.
Yeah, people in this industry know all about the f***ers at Davis Law Firm. If we get a case with their name on it, then we know for darn sure we are likely not settling cheap.
Yeah, I'm adjusting to retired life fine. I don't have to go up against the f***ers at Davis Law Firm anymore. Believe me, we tried, but it was hard to lowball those f***ers.
Dealing with insurance companies after a wreck can be a real challenge. If you're hurt, remember the 4-letter word that can help. Want more? Call the Force.
When you donate or shop at Goodwill, you'll help train future nurses' aides through our local career training programs. Good job, everyone.
San Antonio FC Soccer is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Methodist Healthcare, proudly offering 10 neighborhood ERs across San Antonio. 3-0 Los Locos lead over San Antonio FC. I'm Carl Schoening, along with Katie Goodman, and a sold-out Toyota field. Standing room only tickets were the only thing available at kickoff if you wanted to be part of the fun. And, well, the fun has mostly belonged to El Paso, Katie, but you and I talked about this off-air at the end of the game against Miami, and this is going to be a very competitive second half because San Antonio doesn't show quit.
Yeah, they're a team that has a ton of grit. They know how to dig down deep, and just looking on the field right now as they gather, you do have Lucio Barone at half. Expected that to happen. He's just a bulldog there in the center of the field, and that's really where San Antonio was getting picked apart. El Paso just running an absolute clinic there in front of the back line. But all things simply put have to be better for SAFC. The first touch, the second touch, you know, the winning the first and second ball as well. And it's such a good night to have a comeback. You've got a stadium full. You've got Coyote revving up the crowd. So can you imagine the decibels you're going to hear in this stadium if they do make this comeback?
Yeah, don't count out SAFC. Like I mentioned in the first half, last time these two teams met, it was a 5-goal match. If San Antonio somehow comes away with 3 goals here in the second half, they could really shock some people that came out possibly for their first match of the season. It'll be the kickoff belonging to Los Locos to start things off.
Another change as predicted, Christian Pirano starting in the striker position. They're really going to have to rely on him to help create this comeback.
Lucio Barone also into the match, as quickly getting right back to where he starts at the attacking third. You see Christian Pirano, who has scored in the last 6 matches, 6 goals in the last 4, including 2 on Wednesday. Could really use his firepower here this evening to throw in for SAFC. And Pirano's first touch probably not too far away.
Yeah, in the open, we had mentioned what a critical player he is for San Antonio FC. Big part of that is his ability to go 1v1, to drive against the back line, to kind of lead that press. That was a big piece missing in the first half for San Antonio. I think a big part of why things were too difficult to convert, but San Antonio first, they have to build out of the back with some quality.
Rubin with the footsteps there. Joey Petruni able to get it off in time, and then a turnover in center circle. SAFC will try and win the ball back, but then a foul will be called, and Lucio Barone, whose fresh leg, just gave a pat on the head there, and Matt Thompson ignoring that along many other things this evening.
Look, we knew he was a bulldog, but he's also a good guy. So, you know, the little pat, come on, get on up. And I don't think he took that lightly either.
No, Robert Coronado was not really happy with that touch there, and now we will resume play on the free kick. Sawahi couldn't hold on. Barone knocks this one across the end line, and I believe we'll have our first corner kick of the second half. It will indeed be a corner for Los Locos. They would love to add on to this lead and perhaps win the aggregate scoring, if you will. San Antonio won 3-2 in El Paso, so I suppose back on April 11th. So I suppose that they'll probably try and add on as much as they can. Whistle stopped this play here, and a foul goes against El Paso, and fair amount of pain here for Lucio Barone.
Looks like something hit him in the face. I'd have to see that one back. Just so much happening there in the mix, and you can see him there at the bottom left. He's got some hands, and then it's a push off there just into the face by Ortiz.
Arturo Ortiz there. Maybe going a little closer to the throat if we were to have a super zoom on it. Lucio Barone hit the deck right away, and Mitch Tainer was asking for a yellow card, which was not given to him. Tumasi and Calvillo are the two Los Locos sitting on yellow cards, while Petruni picked up a yellow card at the end of the half as part of that scuffle after the third goal. So that was where that third yellow card was issued. And, well, I can tell you Matt Thompson's going to have some tired lungs tomorrow. He's dealing with players who, and a handshake there from Lucio Barone after failing to win the argument.
Well, 3 minutes into the game, and he's had 3 talking tos. That's where you saw the number 3 he's holding up 3 times now. You know, and that's kind of the spark that SAFC needed. I think they were just allowing too much to happen. They were giving too much respect to El Paso.
Knocked away from Jorge Hernandez by Tumasi, and then a slow roller that'll be picked up by Joey Petruni. Good effort there from Rubin, who would love to get in on the scoring party here for Los Locos, and foul called against El Paso. It'll be a free kick for SAFC. Another look here at Rubin's attempt.
Yeah, Rubin, you know, tied 3rd in the league for the Golden Boot, 10 goals, wanting to add another, and he's been a little bit quiet here. Joey Petruni able to easily get on the end of that one, but, you know, when you talk about how much potential El Paso still has to put another one away, it's pretty big.
Reese Buckmaster will play this cross from Flores Blanco. Pirano got his first touch, but he played it backwards there to Swahi, Mikey Maldonado. And just going back to that attempt by Rubin, it looked like Jorge Hernandez got in on the defensive end there, slowing down the momentum with a little bit of a deflection. Mitch Tainer got it to Lucio Barone, who sends it away here to Patino. Patino gets it past Romero, but wide left.
Oh, so close for San Antonio. You can hear it in the voices of the fans, but much better stuff, though. You can see where it was Lucio Barone who won that ball there in the middle. It was a bit of a missed touch, but he made it work. It's that grit that got the ball forward. Patino just not able to quite place it. Romero doing a really good job there, just closing down the angle.
Santiago Patino, so far with no goals on the season, is San Antonio FC's all-time leader in goals and playoff goals, and the 2022 USL Championship final MVP. SAFC certainly always happy to have him find a little bit of his magic. SAFC will win it back following the goal kick.
Kind of gives you the vibe that San Antonio is under tonight. You know, even all-time leading goal scorer with the 1v1 struggling to put it away there. They just are going to have to find a way to change this energy. And again, El Paso making it so difficult for them to build out.
Plenty of space here for Swahi to play it forward, though.
There's a big switch on if you could get to Nelson Flores Blanco on the other side, but the switch is off now. Now that El Paso has been set.
Pirano able to turn the corner. Pirano with the through ball. Patino tries to strike, bounces off a couple defenders. Cavillo.
San Antonio trying to do a little bit of the same thing to make that build out a struggle, but El Paso having no problems there. They've done really well. I mean, yeah, SAFC won the ball, but that was still some pretty good placement under pressure.
Still plenty of time to find a goal or two to make this more respectable, but SAFC would love to at least come away with 1 point following that 3-goal first half from El Paso. Thiago Suarez.
Again, there's another switch on for backside. I think maybe San Antonio start picking their head up a little bit. Just try to create problems through the midfield.
Mikey Maldonado at center circle. Nice play ahead here to Buckmaster. Jorge Hernandez tries to strike from the penalty arc right to Romero on the poacher's goal. Nelson Flores Blanco scores for SAFC. Flag is up and it's offside called on Nelson Flores Blanco, and jeers coming from the crowd.
You know that hurts if you're there in the stands tonight, but things are looking better for San Antonio. Jorge doing a great job just to take the advantage of having that little bit of space. Looking here, putting it in with pressure against Romero. He made the check. The defender gave him the space. He's able to take it there, and then it's Nelson Flores able to get on the end of it. He actually had a couple of guys there in an offside position.
Pulled down here for Carlin. And SAFC was begging for offside flag to come up against Jimmy for Carlin. Instead, they'll just have to settle for the goal kick. SAFC building out of the back. Wind has calmed down quite a bit here. Mitch Tainer under pressure. It'll be a throw.
Nelson Flores Blanco in the Miami FC game had a similar moment where he got in, had a goal, and was drawn back, all with that same exact run.
That time sent into touch a little bit further ahead by Coronado. But to your point on that called offside goal, SAFC starting to find a little bit more momentum, and well, we still got plenty of time. We're only 10 minutes into the second half here. Advantage being played to here. Pirano lost the dribble, and now the foul will be called.
Yeah, I mean, he was tripped twice and kept going. Got to respect that. His time is counting down, minutes counting down, just trying to get forward. Look back at it here. As you can see, one trip miss, but loses the ball.
Yeah, you might have missed a foul even before that one on the replay.
Yeah.
Rubin. Cut off there by Barone. Slow roller will be intercepted by Mikey Maldonado as sent in by Gabriel Torres. Patino trying to split the defenders. Patino in a foot race, able to win it. Into the box. Was trying to find Pirano, and it was knocked away.
What a fight from Santiago Patino. I mean, he's a brick house, so hard to put a body on. He was not having it there. He had Pirano so close. Just really great defending here from El Paso. You can see San Antonio really firing up here in the second half. I cannot speak enough about Lucio Barone and the difference that he makes in that spot on the field for San Antonio.
Yeah, Rubin's eyes probably got really big until Lucio Barone got in the picture.
Yeah, it just allows San Antonio to defend a little higher up the field as well.
Pirano pushed down, advantage being played to by Barone. Maldonado chips into the area. Bounces out.
Great counter opportunity here for El Paso.
Rubin has a runner. Knocked away. Good defense there. Once again, Lucio Barone on the mark. And then Reese Buckmaster sends it into touch. Throw for El Paso.
Really quality defensive slide tackle from Thiago Suarez. Just doing a great job, not overcommitting, reading the ball here. Slows Rubio down, makes the tackle, denies the goal opportunity.
Yes, correct. Thiago Suarez. I correct myself. Thank you, Katie, for pointing that out, as Thiago Suarez picked up a red card in the 33rd minute on Wednesday, so among the regular players, he's probably one of the freshest out there. Good through ball here to Jorge Hernandez. Torres able to slow down the threat. Hernandez gets it back and switches the pitch. Flores Blanco.
This is the San Antonio FC I think a lot of people are more familiar with. Some good speed passing, connecting passes, quick switches. Now forcing El Paso to run a little bit.
Suahi. Jorge Hernandez pushed down by Alfaro, and Alfaro will claim. Moreno sends to center circle. Mendez marked by Tainer, sends it to the penalty mark. Suahi able to get a foot on it, and then I think, yeah, we're going to call a foul there as kept off the mark there. Rubio Rubin will draw the whistle against Los Locos.
San Antonio not taking any chances against Rubin, multiple players, but what a chip in. That's just great stuff. But yeah, clear shoulder / upper arm, and the reason he gets the call is because it's extended. Definitely helped him to bring the ball down.
SAFC's been threatening here, but nothing to show for it except for the goal that was called offside. Trying to flick it back, heel there. Jorge Hernandez still has the ball, bounced to Patino. Santiago Patino across the byline, looking for a cross. Chips to the penalty mark. Flores Blanco couldn't quite read it through the leg of the attempted clearance by for Carlin. Christian Pirano chips it onside. Jorge Hernandez can't beat Romero to the ball.
Some cheeky stuff there from Pirano and Jorge Hernandez. It's a great, solid sliding finish there from Jorge. But ultimately, San Antonio is just going to have to be better about making the most of those transitional moments. They allowed El Paso to really get set in their defense. That's really not what you want if you're San Antonio.
Patino held up, no whistle. Jorge Hernandez will have a chance. Reese Buckmaster plays it backwards. Suahi. Lucio Perron. Thiago Suarez switches here to Mitch Tainer. Tainer with a switch for Reese Buckmaster. Pulls it down. Jorge Hernandez held up, stumbles, but gets the ball.
As you can see, he gets up because he's clearly not getting the calls here tonight.
And then winning it away there, Moreno. And then eventually a foul will be called against Jorge Hernandez. He's in the face of Matt Thompson. He's saying, why aren't you calling the foul against them?
The frustration is understandable, but the last thing you want is a card for dissent. Just looking back at this scuffle, I mean, yeah, there's a hand on a literal push, which turns him. So he tries to push back. Ref is trying to allow it to play out. There's a hand over the shoulder there from El Paso, and then it makes me, how is that the call there for Jorge?
And I beg your pardon, it was Matt Thompson getting the face of Jorge Hernandez with several steps in his direction. Jorge was holding still. So, tell you what, feels like it's been an uphill battle multiple ways for SAFC this evening, trying to figure out a different lineup as they threw out some fresh legs that didn't play on Wednesday, and now a couple substitutions, fresh legs come in for Los Locos. Nicholas Cardona as well as Noah Dolenmeyer. Emil Cuello will check in momentarily for SAFC as he missed that substitution window, but he's talking to Carlos Llamosa about a game plan.
Dolenmeyer had an incredible save against Oakland in their last matchup. They had a really nice shot. He got almost in the goal and deflected the ball over the top of the crossbar with his head and just saved a really obvious goal and helped his goalkeeper out in that moment.
Mikey Maldonado finds Nelson Flores Blanco.
He's been in and out of the lineup with injury.
Christian Pirano to the feet of Patino. Patino has to play it at the sideline, was able to save it here to Flores Blanco. Pirano. Lucio Barron. Switch of the pitch is on over to Suahi. Mitch Tainer misplays. And that'll allow Emil Cuello to come into the match. Cuello, another one of those guys that didn't start. He's a typical starter. Has started 13 of his previous 15 matches. This is his 16th and has 2 goals on the season, 2 assists. He could be a little bit of firepower to help SAFC get back into the match.
Really has been an integral piece. And I think he can really also help with that build out as well.
Reese Buckmaster exits for SAFC. Throw will belong here to Nicholas Cardona. Booked here by Mendez, and heading it out at the penalty arc there, Petruni. He's protected with the foul. Quick restart.
We've seen some collisions like that from Petruni before, and that was definitely all ball. Great work coming out. He could tell, based on the bounce and the pace, that he was not going to be able to get to it with his hands.
Coronado intercepts and wins possession back here. El Paso probably happier to change up their game plan just a little bit, leading 3 goals here with around 30 minutes left to play in the match. Torres gives it up. Calvillo sends it wide.
At this point, San Antonio has to have the memory of a goldfish and forget it ever happened, Ted Lasso quote there, because they're just going to have to focus on this last 45 and try to make the most of it.
Into the box, Moreno at the top, trying to send it from the penalty mark there, and then off of Petruni. Mendez was looking for the hat trick. And yeah, I don't want to lose any of our audience, but if you were waiting for Cristo Fernandez to check in, he is not available this evening, a.k.a. Danny Rojas. One more look at the chance here.
And again, dangerous movement there. Another shot from distance. San Antonio can't allow those, but a really huge save here from Joey Petruni just to keep that 4th goal from making it through the net.
Leads to the corner kick here. Calvillo will send it. Calvillo has Mendez as a short option. Calvillo giving the okay. Leaves it short, Mendez. Right back to Calvillo. Taps it out. Coronado. And then a foul will be called over the back there by Dolenmeyer.
Mendez just absolutely on fire here tonight. Almost was a hat trick for him, and that last opportunity. Let's look at the foul though, and lots of jersey pulling, so much so brings Emil Cuello all the way down. Pretty obvious, pretty unnecessary.
And this time a foul will be called. Jorge Hernandez is granted it from behind by Torres. Yeah, Cristo Fernandez, who is also known as Danny Rojas, player for the fictional Richmond FC on the show Ted Lasso. He's a little banged up right now, so I think some people might have seen this as a 3-0 lead and a chance for him to come in, and he will not be playing this evening.
Yeah, no, he had a lot of responsibility during the World Cup with promos and things like that, and just, you know, still working to get in game shape. Ended up pulling a hamstring, and so just still working to get back into it here this season.
And he's obviously a very busy actor as a foul is called against Thiago Suarez, and a free kick for El Paso. But it is a cool story that he is playing here at USL Championship. One more foul. Look at the foul here on Suarez as he bowls through Mendez.
Yeah, lots of holding onto the jersey as well. That is an understandable call, but going back to Cristo Fernandez, his sister Paloma actually is going to be in this next season here of Ted Lasso at some point for, you know, the women's teams. So just cool, the whole family is involved.
Yeah, that's really cool, and we had a whole bunch of liners ready to go. Football is life if he were to come in. However, we'll save you those, but do recommend the show if you have the Apple subscription and haven't seen it somehow.
You know, you got to hand it to Ted Lasso, though, for really prepping and priming the people in the United States for soccer and the World Cup. I think a lot of people started getting interest after that show.
He might have done more for soccer in America than David Beckham when he came to play for the Galaxy.
Maybe so, honestly, maybe so.
Mikey Maldonado will send it wide here. Emil Cuello back to Maldonado. A little bit more of the SAFC lineup we're familiar with. They just have their work cut out for them, trailing 3 goals. Mitch Tainter trying to pressure the back line. He'll chip it towards the penalty arc. Brought down by Cuello, and then Cuello had it taken away from him on the defense by Moreno. One back by Cuello. Cuello cuts back. Now Mitch Tainter. Flores Blanco. Flores Blanco able to play it into some space. Nolan Myers slides in there to keep it away. And now here's a counter opportunity that'll be cut out by Thiago Suarez, but advantage was not played to, I suppose. Foul way late called there by Matt Thompson, and that was when SAFC was about to win possession back. So a few groans from the fans, and now Diogo Pacheco will check into the match for SAFC if they open the substitution window.
Yeah, definitely late call was from an advantage play. Seen some of those happen with SAFC, and you would think that there'd also be a callback for those set pieces, but
we'll have our second half hydration break instead of the free kick that'll be handled by Abraham Romero. Well, we do have an opportunity to talk about some good news for SAFC. Thanks to Wednesday's victory against Miami FC in a thriller of a match, they move on to the Brinks Tires USL Cup semifinals, where they will host Louisville City on September 8th. And then on the other side of the bracket, Hartford Athletics will be taking on the Colorado Springs Switchbacks in a chance for the USL Cup final. And this has been a fun ride for us, Katie, as SAFC remains undefeated in this.
Yes, and going toe-to-toe here with Louisville City again at home this time. They did get the win just a couple weeks ago, 1-0. So see if anything has changed since that time has passed. We've got a little bit of time, I guess, here. As that game is not until September 9th, but it all sneaks up so fast.
If I counted correctly, and assuming that SAFC plays in the final there for the Brinks Tires USL Cup, we're down to the final 12 matches of the season, Katie. So, yeah, it does go by fast. And obviously we hope to see SAFC not only make the playoffs, as they're well above the playoff line in a competitive Western Conference. You can't slip up too much. And then see what they can do once they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they're sitting comfortable at that number 2 spot, but the thing, everything's so close here in the Western Conference that they could very easily drop a few just if they get a bad run of games. And so really going to have a lot to talk about moving into the next game.
Seems like the hydration break is finished up here. Alex Suaje will exit the match here, as coming in is Diogo Pacheco. Mentioned how Mikey Maldonado had the hockey assist earlier in the match against the Miami FC. Well, the hockey assist for the first goal against Miami belonged to Diogo Pacheco. So talking a bit more of connective pieces and almost entirely a normal lineup, if you will, for a team that started with a lot of several pieces that aren't everyday players for San Antonio FC. Free kick will resume play, and Emil Cuello will disrupt a little.
Cuello really has been great on that right side, just to slow things down between Cuello and Lucio Barone, just doing well to win that first and second ball. And playing with fire here is San Antonio. Just going to have to take a little bit more care of it.
Oh, Nelson Flores Blanco turns it over in the area. Moreno turns and blocked by Petruni. He'll hop on top of it. Tell you what, that was probably a bad choice to be unselfish by Rubio Rubin, and that might have saved a goal there for SAFC, allowing Petruni to recover on the air and pass. And now SAFC is looking to build some kind of momentum back. Jorge Hernandez.
They're just going to have to be a little bit better about switching on, but it was already trouble having that many jerseys up high. You just have to make the choice to go forward regardless when you've got that kind of pressure on the back line.
Patino couldn't quite direct the header the way he wanted to from the penalty mark. We'll start with the errant pass from Nelson Flores Blanco. He didn't quite see a defender waiting by Petruni, and then it goes across here, and Moreno
Yeah, we all make mistakes, but it was Joey Petruni here who I think made the most of it, made himself big, cut off an angle, forced that pass, and it's Barone getting back here just to delay him further, and then Petruni back in his spot, doing anything he can to save that ball. Definitely a group effort, but really unnecessary to have to put yourself under that pressure.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes it's just not your night, and it sort of feels like it's that kind of situation for SAFC tonight. And right now trailing 3-0. The only time they've sent it across the goal line, it was called back for an offside, and the poacher goal from Nelson Flores Blanco is disallowed. Now some substitutes that are eager to at least put a dent in this lead, trying to play it. Flores Blanco able to save it over to Nicky Hernandez.
I was going to say, you know, it's Nelson Flores Blanco isn't the only one with an errant pass. We've seen so many of these guys out here make mistakes, whether it's the distribution or a missed touch or just the worst turnovers in the worst spots, right? So it's just a collective situation here for San Antonio.
Yeah, Alex Mendez has a brace, was very close to getting a hat trick earlier here in the second half, and now we have a pause here for the aforementioned Alex Mendez as he was down on the pitch. That'll open up a substitution window, and 6 will come in for 5 here. Daniel Gomez comes in for Ecovillo, excuse me, so 5 comes in for 6. And on the other side, Mendez can take a bow with his brace as he'll be subbed in for Beto Avia. Mikey Maldonado will throw once we resume. Jorge Hernandez right back to Maldonado. They'll play a game of touch-touch. Hernandez fakes out the defender and now send it to the penalty mark. It'll bounce off the head of Thiago Suarez and go across the end line. Goal kick for El Paso.
Lots of close calls here for San Antonio, but again, not able to convert. Good fake there from Jorge. A nice little bend to try to set up Thiago Suarez. Just couldn't quite get the connection.
There's been about 3 or 4 headers, and San Antonio FC is good at scoring with their head, just unable to actually be on frame. Jorge Hernandez trying to win the ball back, and Dolenmeyer and him get into a wrestling match, and now SAFC will have the foul called against Jorge Hernandez.
Having a look back at that, both players pulling jerseys, but it starts with the jersey pull from Jorge, to which he returns the favor.
Dolenmeyer, the tallest player out there at 6'6". Just had a bit more size there from Jorge Hernandez. And now the free kick will go to Mitch Tainer, who will never show any quit. Jorge Hernandez keeps that one in play, but it'll bounce to El Paso before yet another send from Mitch Tainer. Lucio Barone takes some damage here from Dolenmeyer, who's going to be shown a yellow card. And Lucio Barone in a serious amount of pain right in front of our 4th official.
Yeah, that looked bad. That looked really bad.
A red card is being shown from the fans, and Barone is pointing to the red card. I don't think that that's going to be issued here. Yeah. Good camera work there as you see it put back in the pocket of our fan.
Well, I mean, that's when they talk about the 12th man at the stadium. I think more people maybe should come out with some reds. Let's look at this. I mean, he's coming in with pace, which kind of complicates things a bit, but either way, physicality really just coming up, and it's a kick in the shin.
That's just Barone playing extremely fast. I don't think Dolenmeyer could have possibly seen him while going after the ball. So just a little bit of defense there for Dolenmeyer on a physical play. But
yeah,
a red card would certainly give some kind of momentum to SAFC searching for something. Perano. Jorge Hernandez. Mikey Maldonado.
I don't know. Sometimes you think maybe SAFC needs the red card considering the goals they put up with 10 people on the field, but don't want to put any juju on anybody.
No, for sure, because the red card means the suspension for the next match.
Game, yeah.
Yeah, well, we had a health and wellness night on Wednesday, but we have dollar beer night and college night on next Saturday night's match against the Oakland Roots. So balance.
Yeah. Wise move, dollar bill beer night on college night. It's a way to get the young kids in here.
Lucio Barón couldn't quite get past the defenders. And then Emil Cuello pushed down from behind. Finally, the whistle comes in, and I suppose SAFC was going to play as if there was no whistle, but now the whistle goes against Cuello and San Antonio, and it's just been that kind of night for SAFC.
And again, a really questionable call. There's a obvious push at the back to the point where he's stopping the ball and playing on. Like, it's so obvious.
Patino will come into the match here or exit the match, I should say, for Luke Hawkinson. So Hawkinson, maybe he can get something going for SAFC. But yeah, just looking at that replay, I don't see how you could call that on SAFC or Emil Cuello after Cuello was tackled from behind. And we're talking American football.
Yeah, this is all. I'm not normally so hard on the ref. I mean, there's a pull, a little bit of trip, and then just a full-on run through the back. Where is the foul from San Antonio?
Yeah, Gabriel
Is it a
Torres
dissent
was the one who committed the foul. Yeah.
Maybe it was a dissent. Maybe somebody said something and he reversed his decision. But either way, a lot of questions for the center ref.
Yeah, Carlos Hermosa, I think he's probably done talking to our fourth official the rest of the evening. He has probably gotten his 2 cents in and senses that his team, certainly if they get a goal, that'll be nice, but to score 3 in the final 20-something minutes, not likely.
Yeah, you know, the one thing, it's like, okay, you can make some bad calls, but do it on both sides. You know, I think that's where the problem is
bad.
here. Yeah. Yeah, just make it even, you know.
That's fair. And this time Luke Hawkinson will be whistled for the foul. Didn't quite see the foul on that one. Maybe our replay can help out, but another free kick here for El Paso.
Seemed extremely minimal from a distance, but maybe close up there might have been an ankle chip. And this is exactly what El Paso wants. They want to stop San Antonio every chance they get. Nice little chip in and lots of jersey pulls. And I'm again asking, where's that foul on San Antonio?
Feels like a play-on moment, and that one sent into the stands as Jorge Hernandez was kept away from the ball by Nicolas Cardona.
Playing a bit of keep away here on the side.
Maldonado thought he was going to be able to catch Hawkinson, who's way offside, and then the pass is intercepted. Had a steam on a counter. Taken away by Mikey Maldonado. Maldonado trying to spark a counter for SAFC. They have numbers the other way. Luke Hawkinson. Hawkinson trying to play it into the box. He'll take it himself. Tries to strike, punched away by Romero. Once again, Hawkinson will recover outside the box, so allow the throw.
You could see Pirano was ready to make that diagonal into the corner where he was really good, but Hawkinson, loving the step overs there from him, working to take it himself. He knew the passing was off, and that's a great shot. Just better denial there from Romero.
Mikey Maldonado will throw. Diego Pacheco right back to Maldonado. Emil Cuello. Left-footed, bounces, past Romero!
And it misses the net there. Bit of an optical illusion.
Got past Romero, just didn't go across the goal line. And had to take a moment to see if Cuello was celebrating. Yeah.
Hey, but it's a great vision, and, you know, taking notes out of El Paso's playbook, starting to take shots from distance. Probably should have tried to do that a little bit sooner, but taking it where they can. Ultimately, at the end of the day, there can be bad calls all day long, but one thing's for sure, San Antonio, they're just not playing their best soccer. They're out of sorts, and that's just something that's going to have to be discussed before they move into the next game.
Robert Coronado helped up here as players are taking advantage for the hydration opportunity. We're going to take a look at our next home match here, which will be the last home match of August 22nd, 8 p.m. kickoff against the Oakland Roots SC. And Hopefully you guys can join us. As I mentioned, it will be college night, and there's several colleges here in town. Also dollar beer night, so make sure you come out for that. We can't partake up here, but we encourage everybody to drink responsibly and have a fun time against the Oakland Roots next Saturday night, as SAFC will look to bounce back, and I'm sure they're looking forward to this week off. It's been quite a week. Third match in the last 7 days for SAFC.
Yeah, we do need to have some grace for San Antonio here tonight, because it's been a long week.
Luke Hawkinson looking to create. Hawkinson has it deflected, and it'll be a corner kick here for SAFC.
Let's have a look again at Luke Hawkinson's drive through, and it's a deflection that San Antonio wishes would have gone in the net.
Jorge Hernandez will try the corner to counter, though. Hernandez in front of the fans. No short option. Left boot on it. Bounce off. Emil Cuello can't get it away from Moreno. Cuello pulls down Moreno, and that is a legitimate foul.
Understandably, too, because it's a tactical situation.
And yellow shown to him.
Wanted to slow that progression forward, things starting off early, but it's, again, just doing the same that El Paso has done to them. But understandable there. Ref making the right call in that situation.
5th yellow card of the season for Emil Cuello. Well, not that it's come into effect lately for El Paso, but they started off the season on a mean streak, and that mean streak has them in first place with red cards on the season. They have 5.
Yeah, 5 all coming in the first half. So when you look at that losing streak, that played a huge role in that. So, you know, just a lot had to change after those games. And, I mean, look at all of these fouls happening. So sometimes you can kind of see why maybe there might have been some reds. But, yeah, just a really difficult challenge there for El Paso.
Ricky Ruiz is run over here by Thiago Suarez.
Yeah, that's definitely a trip. Right now, San Antonio, yes, they've got a lot of qualms and issues with the ref, but they're just going to have to persevere through that. Nothing's going to change here.
No, and when you look back at the 3 goals scored in the first half, a couple of them were arguably mistakes by SAFC, definitely one of them. Here as they're trying to prevent this from being a 4-0 game. Slowing down the pace here, Gomez sends it across the 18. Flag is up, though. Right idea, wrong execution, and maybe a little bit of a warning there on the delay of game to restart here. SAFC could use every second, and there's still no quit in San Antonio despite the difference of the scoreboard.
I think it comes down to finding as many good minutes as you can, and sometimes it's the last 10 minutes of the game, and if that's the case, carry that on into the next. But San Antonio really overdue for a goal here tonight.
Maldonado with the send here to Cuello. Sends it towards the 6, where it was sent away by the foot of Ortiz.
Incredible work there from Ortiz. Just has been in the right place at the right time the entire game.
Lucio Barone with a clean tackle. Mikey Maldonado slows things down. Mitch Tainer switches the pitch and falls down. Hopefully he's okay, as he put a lot of power behind that long side of the field, and he'll walk off, I guess, a little bit of a cramp that he put in, while a fan wearing a Messi jersey gets to throw the ball back in. Good for him. Although now it comes onto the pitch after the ball's been released. Nobody's noticed it yet. That'll be nice if the assistant will help out, because that's a dangerous ball on the pitch. Jorge Hernandez trying to stutter step inside. Couldn't quite deflect it off a defender into touch, and then sliding in. That'll be a throw in for El Paso. Will now pause to get rid of that ball on the wide side of the field.
Intention was good. Probably made his day.
Kid took a little too long to put it back into the fans.
Played a part of the game, literally.
A few minutes shy of stoppage time, where I imagine we'll probably have at least another 5 minutes here. Lucio Barone trying to find Christian Pirano. And Luke Hawkinson being boxed out. SAFC will have to settle for a throw. El Paso, well, a term that I probably learned from Ted Lasso, will park the bus, probably. They don't have much intention of that high pressure they were doing earlier. A lot of players back, allowing Diogo Pacheco to go offside here. All of the above to just sort of coast their way to a well-earned 3 points on a 3-0 current score.
I have to say there has been a slight improvement going into the second half, but still doesn't meet the quality standards for SAFC. I think, when you look at the second half, it's a 0-0 game. It just was such a tough first half that it's tough to recover from.
Abraham Romero has 3 straight clean sheets. SAFC would certainly like to at least eliminate that from being a storyline for a 4th. Forrest Blanco wins the physical fight. And now Lucio Barone gives it up. Jorge Hernandez once again pushing off physical play. Mitch Tainer center circle. Christian Pirano. Now Emil Cuello couldn't get it past the back line. Maldonado showing no quit. Ball not bouncing the way of San Antonio this evening. Rubio Rubin, no goals on the evening, comes up with the possession that'll be cleared to Thiago Suarez, and SAFC just wants that 1 goal to shake off the goose egg.
You can see the intention for the flick on there.
Intentions have been good for SAFC all evening, just haven't quite been able to find the momentum they need. Forrest Blanco just past Jorge Hernandez, and then sliding save. Romero couldn't quite get. Romero gets it after Pirano had a nice touch towards the goal line.
That could have been some much needed energy there for San Antonio. What a good run. Great with the placement. Good ball to run into. Just unable to get that connection. The power that could have slotted it right by in that low 90.
We'll have 6 minutes of stoppage time once we hit the 90th minute. Complete, and now Emil Cuello plays it ahead. No real pressure for him as he chips towards the penalty mark over a couple intended targets. Diogo Pacheco was in the area with Luke Hawkinson, and now they officially flash up the 6 minutes of stoppage time.
Now, in the specific game, some small areas of improvement that could help them is getting that cross off a little sooner. If you're San Antonio, there's a lot of times they're carrying it at the back line. The guys are set, but if they can get the cross off a little sooner, they have some wide open space. It might be a tough 50-50 with the keeper, but definitely an opportunity, no doubt. Right now, it's just too difficult for San Antonio to break down El Paso's defense.
Mitch Tanner will allow this one to bounce here to Joey Petruni. You're just now joining us. All 3 goals by Los Locos scored in the first half, as party was started by Alex Mendez in the 20th minute. Then he got another goal on an errant pass in the 39th minute, and a low cross by intended for Jimmy Carlin ended up scoring the 3rd and seems somewhat likely the final goal of the evening. Carlos Hermoso looks on, hoping for a really productive week that will probably include a good amount of rest.
Yes, lots of ice baths for San Antonio. There's a nice switch on Emil Cuello. Lucio Barone trying to get the next pass off, probably still recovering from that long track back.
El Paso's counter will be thwarted out by the head of Mitch Tainer, who sends it into touch and allows his defense to get back. Just past 10 o'clock Central Time here tonight, as about 4 minutes away from this match wrapping up. Was a great crowd this evening, as just now a good chunk of them are starting to head towards the stands. Spurs night, hopefully a lot of pictures with the 5 championship trophies.
Really great night for fans. I mean, people in San Antonio love their Spurs, so pretty cool experience. There was also a jersey collab between the Spurs and SAFC, which is really cool. It has the Spurs logo.
Jorge Hernandez shown the yellow card here after fouling Nicolas Cardona. And, well, it's just been that kind of night for SAFC. Jorge Hernandez picks up his 7th yellow card of the season.
Still lots of minutes to go. Don't want to run the risk of picking up another.
Junior Gonzalez still coaching despite it being stoppage time in a game where his team is leading 3-0.
Well, it's a really good opportunity here. Dangerous set piece. So, you know, in his eyes, it's making the most of every minute. I mean, that's just the level of coaching that he brings to the table. You play through the full 90 plus.
Ruiz doesn't have a cross opportunity. Nice back heel there to Cardona. Cardona doesn't do anything with it. Ruiz sends it out. A chip into the area by Ortiz and misses intended target. And no whistle for the sold foul there, is Moreno slow to get up, but SAFC.
That looked like a pretty solid hit. So maybe trying to make up for some missed calls there for San Antonio.
Too little too late in this particular case. Christian Pirano showing off some dribbling skills, keeps it in play. Pirano. Cuello pushed down from behind. We play on. Daniel Gomez looks out of not getting the foul call. Flores Blanco. Another push from behind. Cuello will get the foul this time. Now SAFC, well, we'll call this a dangerous set piece here, as Ortiz is whistled for the foul. Thought he got away with it for half a second.
Diogo Pacheco doing a good job just to check to the ball, but as you can see there, bit of a body coming from behind, just not able to do much with it. Ref giving this one to San Antonio here.
Maldonado and Jorge Hernandez lined up on the ball. 3-man wall. Even with the penalty mark are the majority of the SAFC players. Good feeling if Jorge gets his foot on it, he might just go right for goal.
I was going to say, I feel like this is it's in a location where you can really go direct with this. Maybe even hope for a rebound.
Jorge bounces off the wall and will go across the end line. Corner kick for SAFC.
Still a chance.
Perhaps the last chance of the evening here as we wrap up the 6 minutes allotted for stoppage time. Mikey Maldonado doing the honors. High off the head of the defender there, Alfaro, and then throw in here for SAFC. Final whistles moments away. SAFC will be granted the throw into the penalty area. Flores Blanco retreats all the way back to Joey Petruni, and there are the final whistles. 3 points for the Los Locos as they come in to San Antonio, and the 3 matches in 7 days for San Antonio ends on a sour note. El Paso improves to 9-7-4 overall, and on the road they now have a winning record of 5-4-2, while SAFC falls to 8-4-8, and they only see their second loss of the season. And a tough one for San Antonio FC in front of a sold-out crowd on Spurs night, but they'll be back out here at Toyota Field to wrap up their August home schedule on the 22nd against the Oakland Roots. So for Katie Goodman and the rest of the crew, I've been Carl.